Okay, good afternoon again. This is Jake of Philippine Franchise Association. So, welcome to our webinar on how to invest in the right franchise. So, it's rainy here in our place. I don't know sa inyo, but still, I hope that you have a fruitful afternoon ahead of us. Um, just a few reminders again. If you have questions for our speakers later, write them in the Q&A box. Again, if you have questions, write in the Q&A box. But in the meantime, if you want to leave, no, if you have any, if you're interested in any brand, you may leave your details in the chat box. For example, you're interested in a certain brand, you write the name of the brand, and then you put your name and contact details so that we can give this to our presenters after the program.
Hi, sir.
Again, this is Jake Santos of the Philippine Franchise Association, and joining me is my colleague, Ms. Joanne Tumagan.
Good afternoon, everyone. A pleasant good afternoon to everyone. It's also raining here, Jake. I hope everybody is safe and okay
Yes, I hope
despite
so too.
despite the rain. So I would like to inform everyone that this is our second run of the How to Invest in the Right Franchise webinar. So this is organized by the Philippine Franchise Association in partnership with of course, our members and also our valued sponsor, which will be acknowledged later by our PFA board director. So allow me to thank everyone again for joining us today. Maraming salamat po. So before we officially start the program, of course, I will ask my co-lead to lead the invocation. Jay, can you lead the invocation?
Okay, one moment. Sorry for that. So let's remember that God is always with us. He's always present. So let us remember that God is with us right now. Almighty God and Father, we thank you for gathering us online for a webinar on how to invest in the right franchise. We pray that this activity will be fruitful for all of us. Look kindly on our hopes and aspirations and bless the work of our hands so that our labors will bear good fruit and will be of service to our neighbors. But as we lift up our hopes and our plans, we also pray that we will learn to seek your will and your plans for us. For we know that as our Father, your plans for us are to prosper and not to be harmed, to have hope and to have a future. Lastly, we pray that you guide us out of this crisis and become better persons, doing our fair share to make this world a better place. All this we pray, trusting in your providence and mercy. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Jake, for that beautiful prayer. I know everyone is excited to hear and learn from our speakers today, our presenters, and to discover great business franchise opportunities. Meanwhile, allow me to briefly remind everyone of our house rule, which we also announced it earlier. So for any questions, please write them at the Q&A box. We will not entertain questions coming from anonymous participants. So please indicate your name. For concerns regarding audio and visual presentations, please write them at the chat box found at the lower portion of your screen. And if you want more information about a certain brand, please leave your contact details in the chat box and we shall give them to our franchise presenters. So please write your name, email, mobile number, and the name of the brand you are interested in. And for those who would like to request for an certificate, which we encountered in our previous webinars, kindly email us at membershiprecruitment@pfa.org.ph. And please indicate your full name, company, organization, and the reason for requesting the certificate. Once again, may we request everyone to let's practice and observe respectful comments, and refrain from using offensive language in the chat box. Thank you very much. Now I turn it over to Jake. Jake, can you?
Sorry for that. Thank you, John. So this afternoon we'll have a speakers who will share the expertise on franchising. No? So it will teach us the basic of franchising and why is it a good investment, no? Despite the COVID times. So we have with us our PF Director for ASEAN, Mr. Chris Lim, and and also Ms. Dana Cunet of Francor, who will share this.
Yes,
So
Jake,
aside
I'm
from them,
sure.
they will also have presenters from various brands.
Yes, Jake, I'm sure a lot of our participants are asking what in store for us for franchising amid COVID-19 situation, and what would be the prospects under the new normal, or what we call also the next normal. So we're happy to have with us our members, our franchise presenters from Arispa, Brent Gas, Cycle House, LT&G Credit Line Corporation, and new franchise sales and management, which will be presenting several various brands later. And of course, joining us also as our speaker from PayMaya.
Yes. So now to formally welcome everyone, it's my pleasure to introduce our our speaker who will welcome us this afternoon. He has been a he used to be the senior global brand manager for Unilever, and his last assignment is in London, but he was all over the place. No, he been to Bangkok, to Shanghai, and he's currently the CEO of Franco Philippines. That's the brand behind the biggest brands in the Philippines. No, that's a brand. That's the consultancy behind Jollibee, Max's, Potato Corner. Also, he's the CEO of U Franchise. So it is my pleasure to introduce to you our director for ASEAN and special projects. May I introduce to you Mr. Chris Lim. Mr. Chris.
Yeah, hi everyone. Well, first of all, welcome. Thanks for spending your afternoon with us. Here at PFA, we're very happy with this. Is the second time we're doing this on a webinar version. We've been doing this every week for the past few years as a live seminar, but just a second time as a webinar. And to the hundreds of people here today, welcome. Now, I just wanted to quickly take you through a quick overview of what to expect today, as well as welcome you really to today's seminar. So in the next slide, we'll see the overview today really is we want to educate you on franchise investments. You know, the first thing with franchising, the first step to success is really education. Matuto muna tayo, don't jump straight into it. Let's learn a bit and then jump into franchising. And really, we wanted to encourage franchising as a route to entrepreneurship. And I know a lot of you are looking into entrepreneurship now. So this is something that's why we do these seminars. And of course, it's organized by the Philippine Franchise Association. Now, ano nga ba? What's the PFA? In the next slide. So the PFA was founded back in 1995. It's the pioneer franchise association in the country, and it has over 300 members that spans over 600 different brands, about 70% of which are MSMEs. It's the Philippines' self-regulating governing body and the only internationally recognized franchise association here in the Philippines. So here at PFA, it's really the voice of the franchising sector. Whether you're in the franchisee side or the franchisor, we're here to protect the industry, to continue growing the industry together. And really, something very special is the PFA member brands. I mean, it's not easy to become a PFA member brand because, you know, there's over 1,800 brands here in the Philippines, but there are only 600 as a member of the PFA because one, you need to have good business reputation and standing. It should meet at least two of these criteria. Either may tatlo siyang company-owned outlets, 3 franchise outlets, or franchising for at least 3 years. And of course, it has to abide by the PFA fair franchising standards. So the brands you'll hear today and the brands that you'll see on the PFA website, they were filtered to make sure that they actually protect you as a franchisee and of course, protect the industry in general. Now in the next slide, just a quick overview of the flow, which I think Jake already shared. We'll start with about 15 minutes on how to invest in the franchise. Just to answer basic questions on what franchise fees are, what are questions you need to ask. And of course, we selected a few PFA member brands, Brent Gas, Cycle House, LT&G Credit Line, or Rice Spa, and brands from U Franchise. Essential brands that have done well, whether lockdown or not, brands that are very relevant to today's times. And of course, very special today, we have PayMaya, who'll be talking about conversational commerce, which I'm sure a lot of us have been doing, buying things from Viber and all the different communities. And we'll end it with Q&A. By all means, of course, if you had questions throughout the session, just put it in the Q&A box so that at least the panelists can also answer it. Now, one of the biggest questions being asked to us, we just did this session last week for some Filipino Americans. We've done it quite a few times. Is it the right time to franchise? A lot of people are looking at, because of COVID-19, because of a lot of brands having to close shops for a while, people getting scared, social distancing. Is it the right time to franchise? And PFA has been here for over 25 years. And one thing we've learned, and one thing the father of franchising just said a few weeks ago, is that franchising is good in good times. It's even better in bad times. The idea with franchising is it does very well when the economy is good, but when the economy is a bit weak, when people are actually unfortunately losing jobs, it becomes even better because then people start looking for alternative sources. And we've seen this. For today's session alone, we have over 1,500 registrants. And every time we do any of these events, we have hundreds, if not thousands of attendees and registrants wanting to listen because people are starting to look at new opportunities. And the time to look at it is now, not a year from now when everyone's scrambling for the good locations. In the next few months, there'll be locations that will be opening up, prime locations even. For different reasons, people might have closed down their stores or might have decided to move on. So this is the best time to really look for locations. This is the time to start looking for franchises and start researching. Hindi naman yan overnight, not just because you decided today you can open it tomorrow. It still takes a few weeks, if not a few months, to really get it into a reality. So start it now. Don't wait till the end of GCQ. Don't wait till the vaccine. Start looking for a franchise now because we know this from the SARS epidemic to the financial crisis. That's actually when franchising started to boom. Well, with that, I wanted to welcome you all once again. And I did want to thank people who've made this possible, from the PFA, the PFA Secretariat, as well as our sponsors, our co-presenters, BPI and PLDT, and of course, our other sponsors, Phoenix, Sea Oil, Francorp, QualiPlus, Potato Corner, Goldilocks, KFC, Max Group, Mary Mart, and Rice Spa. These are brands that have continued to really support the PFA and to allow us to stage talks like this so that we can share education and educate you directly. Once again, good luck. And one last tip for you, just be decisive. If you do find an opportunity, something that really fits what you're looking for, is in your budget, do be decisive and act on it. Don't wait a year, don't wait 3 years, don't wait 5 years. Do be decisive because we've seen a lot of people, some really grow when they were very decisive, especially at times of crisis. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much to our PFA Director for ASEAN and Special Project, Mr. Chris Lim, for giving our viewers and participants an overview of the Philippine franchising, and of course, encouraging them and giving them confidence to invest during today's business landscape. So before we proceed, may I request everyone, our presenters, speakers, to have a group pictorial. So we will ask our technical team to have a photo of us as a group. Um, may I request our technical team for a group pictorial together with our speakers, presenters.
Ready po. Ready. 1, 2, 3. Smile. Okay.
All right, thank you so much, Ivy. And now I turn it over to Jake.
Thank you, John. Thank you. Thank you, Sir Chris. No? Thank you din for the other presenters for the photo. So now we proceed to our speaker who will share with us how to invest in the right franchise. No? She'll make us understand what franchising is. I was give us tips, no, on what to look at if we plan to invest in a franchise. So on that note, it is my pleasure to introduce to you our speaker. She's the assistant vice president for consultancy of Franco Philippines. Let's all welcome Miss Dana Cuneta. Dana.
Thank you, Jake, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Like we said, going to be an afternoon of learning. And in this learning session, we will share to you what you need to know about franchising. We'll talk about the definition of franchising a little bit, the challenges of franchising. It's listed in the next slide. The challenges of franchising, the benefits of franchising. Franchising is not for everybody, so we will also talk about whether franchising is for you, and if it is for you, what franchise are good for you. Okay, and of course, how to become a successful franchisee. But I guess there are two questions in the next slide that's looming over your head. That this was, of course, discussed by Mr. Lim a while ago, but let me add a couple more points. Would going into a business make sense now? They say that there's never a right time to become an entrepreneur. So when you see an opportunity, look at it, and then don't wait long to decide on it. But during these times, you might wanna be cautious about your investment because you wanna save something aside for your family and for your personal needs until your cash flow starts coming in. And of course, you have to look at opportunities that are on the upswing at the moment. Those are your food, your drinks, your gas, and a lot more other opportunities that will be presented. These are our presenters this afternoon. Now, would franchising work during an economic slowdown? Franchising is, in fact, a perfect opportunity for you to get into entrepreneurship. Why? Two things. First, it's lesser risk. The franchisors have already gone through the trial and error process. So when it gets to you, it's already a tried and proven system. And then another is that your learning curve is not a steep. Your franchisor will guide you even from the moment, even before you sign the franchise agreement, from the time you look at the locations, training, and then when you open the store, they're with you with their pre-opening team and guide you until you can be left and monitor your store and reach the level of performance that's set by your franchisor. So I guess with those, I hope it made you a little bit more optimistic about getting into entrepreneurship and franchising. Okay, so let's start the presentation. In my next slide, we will talk a little about franchising. Like I said, in franchising, there are two operating parties, no? The franchisor and the franchisee. And this operating part, and under this two operating parties are 5 elements. So you have to check if the 5 elements are in this relationship. first, your franchisor owns the name and the system. And your franchisor will grant you the perspective of the seminar is you as a franchisee. So we'll grant you the right to use that name and system, and you as a franchisee will provide, number one, the capital, the time, and the manpower to make the relationship work. Okay, and then you are both bound by a franchise agreement, and this is supposed to be a win-win scenario. Win-win, you're happy, and your franchisor is happy as well, because franchising is duplicating a successful business. Okay, in the next slide, we will see a study that was conducted by USAID amongst several hundreds or several thousands of businesses, and they were grouped into two. One group are businesses set up traditionally. This is where you develop your brand and develop your system on your own until it gets successful. No, that's your traditional way of setting up a business. Another way is through franchising. So after 10 years, the observation period, it was observed that the traditionally set businesses, only 20 to 30% are still open on the 10th year, versus a franchise concept where 9 out of 10 or 90% are still operational on the 10th year. We have observed that on the 5th, 6th year, the traditionally set businesses start to close. So that is why franchising is more successful, because here in a traditional set business, you go through the trial and error process, okay, and not everybody gets past that. Okay, so that's why franchising is a better alternative than setting up the business on your own. In our next slide, we will see in the past, when we look at entrepreneurship, when you go into a business, there are only a few options. That's your restaurant, taxi, Grab, TNBS, sari-sari store. But after the phenomenal growth of franchising in the Philippines, we have seen a lot of concepts already. In fact, right now, I think there are 2,000 or more than 2,000 concepts in the Philippines. And why is that so? Because of these seminars, people have become aware of franchising as a method of expanding their business. And for the franchisees, it became a method of opening up businesses. Like for example, at Francorp, it's a franchise consultancy firm, and there the concepts that we make are from birth to death. So you have your birthing clinics up to your funeral chapels and everything and all of the services in between. So to cite an example, for example, your hair, there are several concepts that cater to beautifying your hair. So you have your salon, you have your hair extensions only, or you have your wigs only, or you have your blow drying or styling only. So that's why it gets more and more, because services becomes more focused. Initially, maybe it's a niche, but later on it goes into mainstream. So now you have a lot of choices to choose from. Okay, in our next slide, we will, it says here, you are in a business for yourself, but not by yourself, no. What does this mean? If there are entrepreneurs here in our audience, you would know that if you encounter a problem, there is no one to ask. There is no one above you to ask for a solution to your problem. Okay, so you are the end all and be all of solving the problem of your business. Now, versus franchising, why does it work? You are your own boss as a franchisee, but you have the franchisor support. You have the franchisor support to help you in times of trouble. You can call your friend. In fact, some franchisors even have a 24/7 hotline. Why is that so? Because your franchisor has the system. He has already a tried and proven system. He has experience, and of course, he is an expert in what he does, because he has a successful business, a successful prototype that has already operated, and maybe even more branches, okay, and have tested all the locations. Okay, in our next slide, ayan. So I mentioned about the 5 elements earlier, no? So what are the advantages to you? So these are the 2 elements, advantages for the franchisee. First, use of name. So you see very popular brands there. When you start a business and you just conceptualize your business name, it takes hundreds of thousands to get that brand into a certain level of awareness. But if you get a franchise business, your franchisor has already invested maybe even millions to create that awareness for the brand, okay, from its inception up to where it is now. Another advantage to you is the use of the system, okay. First, like I've been mentioning earlier, proven systems and procedure. um, this has already been tried and tested, proven system, all encapsulated maybe in an operations manual, documented in the operations manual. Another beauty of the operations manual, it's not just you looking at how to operate your business step by step. It is also a measure for your franchisor to look at your performance, because the role or the desire of your franchisor is for you to reach the level of success that your franchisor has reached, because we want it to be win-win. It has also a defined product and service. Can just imagine, for example, if you will set up a restaurant, um, pay a chef even hundreds of thousands of pesos to design a maybe 50-item menu. If you franchise, you do not have to do that, because your franchisor will give you a list of all the menu, how it is cooked, and will even provide you with the ingredients, and because that's his proprietary products. R&D, every so often, periodically, the franchisor will come up with new services and new products, and the research and development is very expensive. So this is handled by your franchisor. All you need to do is receive that memo with the instruction on how to cook and how to market it, and you can already execute it. Store design and merchandising, of course, all of the stores should look the same. So you, as a franchisee, or versus setting up your business on your own, you won't have to pay an architect or an interior designer, because this is provided to you by your franchisor. Oftentimes, your franchise, there is what we call a turnkey project. So your franchisor will build the store, will construct it, will stuff it with the equipment, furnitures, and fixtures, and all you have to do is undergo training and open the store and start operating it. Marketing campaigns which have been tested effective will be shared with you, and in fact, your franchisor is of course in charge of creating market-wide awareness for the brand. And the most important thing is support services. Your franchisor has to be with you each step of the way, throughout the term of your franchise, because like I said, it's duplicating his success. Okay, and then in the next slide, we will see why the franchisor needs you, the franchisee. So these are the other three elements. First, money, of course, capital. The franchisor is able to expand by using other people's money, time, and people. So you provide the capital, you even pay a franchise fee, a royalty, which are additional sources of revenue for the franchisor. Proprietary products are provided by the franchisor to you. For services naman, these are the supplies that the franchisor provides you to be able to do that particular service. And of course, risks are managed, because like we said, the franchisor has gone through it already and he has a successful system. He has been operating this, and he can more or less project what will happen to a certain store in a particular location. This allows, for time, this allows the franchisor to expand exponentially by using other people's time and money and resources. Okay, so there are instances when, let's say, a certain brand launches, starts franchising when he has only 3 branches, and once he starts franchising, this grows exponentially to even 100 after 6 months. So this is advantageous for the franchisor because the brand is all over. These are like branding activities for the franchisor, and by using also other people's active participation in the management of the business. You as franchisees will have your own network. You will hire your own people. You know your location best. So you know the neighborhood. You have your network of people which can be brought into the franchise and become the initial patrons of the franchise. So you provide these three elements to your franchise source. Okay, next slide. Okay, so these are the support which you will expect from your franchisor. First, even before you sign the franchise agreement, your franchisor is already supporting you in location assistance. Some franchisors are able to locate sites for you, but other times the franchise application will not move unless you present to your franchisor location that you are interested in, that you are looking at. So there's site evaluation. Your franchisor will consent to the location that you have presented. Construction assistance, like we said, either the construction will be done by the franchisor himself, or your franchisor will allow you to get an accredited contractor. Your initial training will be done under the franchisor's guidance. The franchisor, in fact, will conduct the training. So you will do the training in his base, in most cases, in his location, in most cases, and then set up. After the store has been constructed or your carts have been fabricated, the franchisor will bring in his opening team and set up the store for you. So after your training, all you need to do is go to the store and start operating it. And of course, marketing, you have your operations manual where you have a listing of all the grand opening marketing activities that you will conduct with the help, of course, of your franchisor. And even the marketing activities after you have opened the store. These are all suggested in the operations manual, and these have worked in certain areas. All you have to do is to, select them and then see what works in your area. And in the next slide, other support services that the franchisor provides after you have opened are this. First, like I mentioned earlier, some franchisors have 24/7 hotlines, product research and development, marketing and advertising. There are two types of marketing activities that you will do. First, normally you pay your franchisor what we call a system-wide advertising fee, and this is usually a percentage of your gross sales. And the franchisor handles this fund to create awareness market-wide for the brand. Okay, and there's also another type of advertising which we call local store marketing, which you will spend naman. This is part of your franchise agreement, an amount which you need to spend for creating awareness for the brand and the concept in your locality. Okay, and of course, ongoing training, because there are always new things and improved things of doing things. Okay, so next slide. Ayan. So we've learned about the benefits of franchising this time. Challenges naman. So franchising, I mentioned, is not for everybody. You need to conform you need to follow the franchise agreement, be obedient to the franchise agreement, and conform to the operations manual. So conformity is critical. You cannot reinvent the wheel. If you are the type of medyo creative person, then perhaps franchising is not for you. Maybe you should be an entrepreneur yourself. Okay, territorial restrictions, you will be assigned a location, so you can only operate in this location. And normally your franchise agreement will say whether well, it's not exclusivity, but your location, the franchisor can add another unit depending on the population or a radius metrics. And of course, franchising is uh, not an instant success. Okay, so false expectation yon to believe that it is an instant success. The franchisor has done maybe 80-90% of work, but you manage the store. Okay, so that is the part which you contribute to the relationship. You have to manage. Some franchisors look for an active franchisee. Okay, other times naman in the franchise agreement, there is a specific number of hours that's required of a franchisee to stay in the store. Okay, so you have to discuss this with your franchisor. Okay, next slide. So just a quick assessment if franchising is for you. Number one, look at your investment. How much are you willing to spend for a concept that you like? So una, it can be a 500,000 investment, or maybe you have 5 million to invest, but look at the ROI, that investment usually goes hand in hand with ROI. Okay, so you want to look at how much the payback period, or how much will you when will you recover your investment, and how much ROI will you get every year. Okay, number two, abilities and skills and your goals and your passion. Okay, so if you like, some franchisors, when they the franchisees they consider are those which are inclined to the products that they offer. For example, a makeup would want someone who likes to fix their face, fix their hair, or someone maybe who likes spa, if that is a spa franchisee. What's important is you are happy with what you are doing, because there is some level of activity that will be expected of you or your manager. Okay, there's business demand and growth potential, so watch out if this concept is a fad. You would want to go into a franchise which is a trend, at least for the duration of your franchise agreement. Okay, next slide. You would also want to look at competition. So if you're planning to put up a certain this certain concept, you want to look at alternative products or substitute products or services to this particular concept that you want. Some franchisees want brand recognition. Others naman want location. Others want the franchisor's experience and credibility. So whatever it is, make sure that you find this in the concept that you pick. Okay, so discuss this with your franchisor during that point where you will be able to sit down with them face to face if you really want to pursue your application. Okay, next slide. So where do you start? Here, later, you will hear a lot of franchise offers. Go to the franchise shows also. PFA has a website. They have a listing of all the members offerings. You Franchise also, the sister company of FranCorp, also has a website, and they have a lot of choices there for you, entrepreneur magazines, etc. Next slide. Do your due diligence. At some point during the application process, you will meet your franchisor. Okay, and here you may ask questions already. You might want to verify the credibility of your franchisor. So talk to his franchisees, see if the promised support is delivered to their existing franchisees. How long is the training? Because the longer the training is going to be not very good for you, because that's higher pre-operating expense, because of you will be paying salaries of your people even before you start operating and start having the cash flow coming in. You also, next slide, you also you also want to study your financials. So at some point during the application process, this will be explained to you, a projected cash flow pro forma, even your profitability analysis, an ROI projection. So discuss this with your franchisor and make sure that, for example, if your franchisor says if you make 10,000 average daily sales, you will generate an ROI of 6 months. So in this location that you are offering, are you able to make that amount of average daily sales? Find out what's the break-even point. And in his experience, how long will it be before they reach the projected average daily sales? So discuss that in detail. In fact, we even encourage you to prepare your own feasibility plan, because the franchisor will give you projections. Some will give you high, low, mid, and high scenarios, but you want to be able to apply that in your feasibility study for your particular location. Okay, next slide. Like we said, franchising is granting the use of the name and the system. So check if your franchisor's concept or brand name is registered with the IPO. IPO is your intellectual property office. Because if it is not there, he might not own the brand, and you might have a problem later when the real owner of the brand goes to you and tells you to bring down the signage. So you want to make sure that they own the brand. Check the litigation history. When your franchisor provides you with a franchise agreement, be able review it, study it, get a legal consultant, have them review that also. And if there are anything that's unclear, sit down with your franchisor and let him clarify it. Okay, next slide. Signs of a franchise scam. Okay, so first, if it's too good to be true, probably it is. Okay, so yung mga profitability, ROI this fast, look at the numbers. So the numbers are honest. So okay, and then number two, pressure tactics. So you wanna be able to decide first. Look at all the possibilities, create your feasibility plan. So you do not want to get into something you are not ready. Okay. Absence of list of franchisees. Maybe he says he's franchising already, but he cannot say where it is located, etc. And what's the last one? Vague. Sorry. The chat box is oh yeah. So vague list of owners or vague company profile. Okay. Next slide. So what key questions to ask? During the sales process, initially you will be given the information on investment and ROI and about how much is the royalty, etc., etc. And then later on in the process, your franchisor will ask some information about you, maybe let you fill up some forms, and then allow you to have a sit-down meeting with them, and there you will be able to ask all the questions that you need to know to be able to come up with an informed decision. And of course, it's very important that you show your location, your possible locations to your franchisor, because as we say, location, 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 not because there's a lot of foot traffic in a particular location, it is going to do well, because the location depends on the target market. Okay, next slide. How to be a successful franchisee? Number one, be a good follower. Like we said, you cannot reinvent the wheel. So you have be compliant to your franchise agreement. Do not deviate from your operations manual. Create a feasibility plan or a business plan using the figures that the franchisor provided you, but according to the potential of the location that you have raised to your franchisor. Be a hands-on manager. This is the success formula of a franchise, becoming an active franchisee. Manage your finances. You do not want to put your household expenses into your operation of the store, because that's when it's gonna get really ugly. Okay, there's been a lot of complaints from franchisees not making money, only to find out that there are a lot of unnecessary, unrelated expenses in their OPEX. Always market your store. You are the first marketer of your store, and some franchisors maybe require you to have some sales ability, so that you are, you are able to market the products and services. Okay, and lastly, be willing to share with your franchisor ideas that will help improve the system. You have to follow the operations manual and the franchise agreement, but that's not to say that you cannot make a suggestion. In fact, in McDonald's, the filet o fish and even the egg McMuffin are all are products that were suggested by a franchise. Okay, so I think next slide. That's my last slide. And I will, if you have questions, I will just answer them in the Q&A. Thank you very much.
I think there's
I'm
problem with John's
sorry.
sound. Okay.
Yeah. I'm already in. Sorry. Sorry for that technical problem. I would like to thank again Ms. Dana for that comprehensive presentation on how to invest in the right franchise, sharing all great information and valuable insights on analyzing a franchise business opportunity for you. For your questions, we will be entertaining them later at the Q&A portion. So please write your questions at the Q&A panel lower portion of your screen. So moving forward, I'll be introducing our franchise presenter, the first one. She is from a company that offers franchise matching services that helps you to be your own boss and to start your own franchise. Our first presenter will be presenting various franchise brands so that you have several choices. And now let us all welcome the franchise consultant of You Franchise Sales and Management, Ms. Camille Malto.
Hi. Okay. Yes. So thank you, Ms. Joanne, and good day to all our participants. I am Camille, one of the franchise consultant of You Franchise. So I'm here to present to you the top franchise brands that are on the upswing this time. So, but just to quickly introduce our company, U Franchise is a franchise sales company that helps aspiring franchisees like you be matched with the right franchise brand to invest in. So, with over 2,000 brands kasi here in the Philippines na nag-offer ng franchise, you might get confused. So, we are here to give you a franchise consultation for free. And we also have some premium services like location hunting to fast track your franchise application. So for the brands, next slide please. So for the brands, we see that the strength of essential business concept will continue to grow. So this is how we selected and cluster the brands that I'll be presenting. So here are some of the brands that caters to the essential needs of customer and some quick information of the capital investment. Let's start with the delivery and to go food. First is the Shawarma Shack. It's a buy one take one concept. I'm now also delivering with their internal system. So franchise starts at 850,000. Next is we also have Angel's Pizza, so my personal favorite. So even before the ECQ, over 80% of the transactions were delivery and takeout. And now they are aggressively expanding to different areas of the to reach more territories. So franchise starts at 10.5 million. And we also have Citruzone. So health is wealth. So people today are leaning towards a healthier lifestyle. So we want something that will boost our immune system more. So Citruzone continued operation through online orders and deliveries. So what I like about Citruzone is the support that they're giving to their franchisees. So they even waive the royalty fee for the first few months to help their franchisees stabilize for the during the operation. So franchise starts at 290,000. In the next slide are some necessity brands. So first is the H2O Mineral Plus. It's an alkaline water refilling brand from Singapore with a very compact setup. Best for small spaces, starts at 7 square meter. So franchise starts at 500,000 pesos. So we also have a Safe 5 laundromat, so a fast growing self-service laundry in the country. So with most people working from home and growing size of household without enough space for laundry, so the clamor for laundromat service continue to grow. So for a self-service laundry, they are offering a very affordable franchise, starts at 1.2 million. Next is we have EQ Grant Lending Corp. So we are seeing a lot of opportunities for a micro lending business, especially right now that their target market are essential businesses that continue to operate even the quarantine. So meaning they have the capacity to pay. So franchise starts at 2.5 million. And last is the generics pharmacy, one of the largest pharmacy in our country, which operated during the ECQ, since customers need access to cheap yet effective medicine. So according to TGP, they still have at around 2,000 potential locations pa open. So you could be one of them. So franchise starts at 674,000. So next slide po. These are just some of the brands that we can match you with. So if you would want to explore more on the brand, so let us help you on a free one-on-one consultation. So you may drop your name, your email address, and the brand that you're interested in at the chat box. So, or you may also contact us at the details shared in the screen. So thank you, and we really look forward to helping you in your franchise journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Camille. Thank you. Thank you, Camille. So again, a reminder to participants. So if you have any questions, write them in the Q&A box. And again, we will not entertain questions from anonymous senders. So sorry, if anonymous, no entertain. We won't entertain. So now we move on. Our next
So hello, thank you Sir Jake for your kind introduction. Good afternoon, and to all our viewers who are watching right now, good afternoon. As always, if you want to reach for our dreams, we need to get started now. I wanted to share with you my short story last March 12. Our team flew to Bohol right in time to support our franchise's new store. Despite the dangers we are facing, we decided to go cautiously with the mission to train and support our franchisee staff. It reminds me of our values and our vision. Why are we doing this? Having a new member of our family, we want them to feel our support. We didn't waste our time after landing, we trained them right away. News keep on coming that there will be a lockdown, and we are advised by our boss to go back in Manila that very same night. Truly, commitment in our work separates us from the rest. Our efforts didn't go to waste as our new franchisee was one of the first stores to open since they were on GCQ. During this GCQ, other than safety, health and wellness is still our priority. We need to take care of our well-being. We know the pain of our frontliners, backliners, government officials, business owners, employees, and all the hardworking people out there. We are here for you. Our brand promises to give you relief and relaxation, bringing the feel-good spa experience into your homes. So, who we are. Number one, next slide. Orispa Spa Solutions Incorporated is the first and finest maker of 100% rice brand-based spa products in the Philippines. We are not a spa service, but we are a retail store. Orispa is your ASEAN Excellence in Healthcare at the ASEAN Business Summit 2016, an outstanding Filipino franchise and Best in Corporate Social Responsibility Program 2017, awarded by the Philippine Franchise Association and the Department of Trade and Industry. We are into manufacturing and retailing, and we expand through franchising, having 66 branches and presence in 12 other countries. Why choose Orispa? We are a trusted Filipino brand. Enjoy a great brand equity in areas that we operate. We are the only brand dedicated for rice brand-based spa products and uses all natural ingredients. We promise a feel-good, anywhere, anytime experience which is in demand as spas and salons are not open and people are busy, but they can have it with the purchase of any Orispa product. We are manufacturing our own products, having control of quality, and servicing your inventory needs right away. We are a 20-year manufacturing company. We are a competent team that cares for the collective growth of our franchisees. We are led by a clear brand vision and mission. Next slide. How to own an Orispa retail store. You just need to inquire and by contacting us through social media and email us. And also we have a contact number that is flashed on your screen. Then we will send franchise forms for you to fill up and we approve if you are qualified. Next, you process. Process your business permits and any needed documents, then we assist. Our line are open to help you in every step of the way. You open. It's the start of your operation. Then we support. It's the continuous communication and learning will never stops. Our Rise for Franchise investment is inclusive of franchise fee, staff uniform, kiosk, initial inventory, stock band, and soft opening support. As an Arispa franchisee, enjoy 50% profit margin. Note that we do not have royalty fees. Return of investment is 1.8 years or 16 months. And 3 years contract renewable for 2 terms, having franchisee enjoy 9 years of contract. Arispa franchise is easy to operate. You can now be your own boss at an affordable cost. Start your own Orispa retail store now. For inquiries, kindly contact me at +63 935 8037 999 or +63 917 544 9587 or email me at orispa@gmail.com. So see the details that are flashed on your screen. Thank you and keep safe, everyone.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you. So, ayan, no? That's a rice spa.
Thank
That's
you.
bringing the spa to your home. No?
Yeah.
In fact, I'm a user also of a rice spa. So,
Thank you, Sir Jake.
yes, thank you, Pat. No? So, our next speaker is actually a franchise brand, no, but an enabler, no, for franchisees or aspiring franchisees, no? Especially times when we need to go contactless payment. No? So, at this point, I'd like to introduce to you our next speaker. He's the business development head for QR system of PayMaya, Mr. Martin Mauhay.
Hi, thank you for that introduction. So yes, correct. We are not a franchise, but rather we help power the franchises and franchisees in order to accept different kinds of payment solutions. Now that we are in this period of we just left ECU and now we are in GCQ. So I'll go on right ahead with the presentation. Can we move on to the first slide, please? All right. So who we are, PayMaya, is that we are your partner for safe and secure payments for both online and face-to-face transactions. Yung hashtag nga namin, it's a PayMaya for every MSME for every business. We are a payment solutions provider that is proudly Pinoy made for the Filipinos, right? So below are different partners and payment solutions options that we provide, depending, of course, on the kind of payment solution that you get from us through our partners, PLDT Enterprise. So we are regulated by BSP, so your payments are safe and secure as we comply with the standards of the organization. Next slide, please. Now, going on into the topic of conversational commerce, it's really taking your business online first, right? So we have this concept called 1 2 3 of the triple C's, right? So it's the first step is connectivity. Of course, getting online is the key to going digital first, and that is of course through our partners with PLDT and providing that connection. Second, of course, is engaging your commerce in the different platforms where your customers are. By creating that presence, you are then able to converse with your customers online because that is where they are going now. And by conversation, you allow a transaction where it flows through into your interaction with the consumer. Say it's in Facebook Messenger or in Instagram or in your chat apps. It is through that conversation where you insert the checkout experience, where they actually purchase from you. So we provide that kind of solution where you talk to your commerce, your customers, and then through that conversation, you're able to send out a payment link or a payment request, and it is through that link your consumers can then be able to transact with you and transfer money and make the business transaction. So to really drill down on the solutions there, I'll go on into the next slide. So can you kindly please move on to the next slide? Yes. So this is the first solution, which is the most standard solution that we have. It is the QR code, right? So it's the PayMaya QR. By enabling your business with a QR code, you will then have access to the millions of active PayMaya wallet users that will be then able to transact with you. So what happens here is that during the conversational commerce where you talk to your customer, you send him or her your QR code, and then all they have to do is really scan that code and then pay you using the PayMaya account. So once that pushes through, it goes into your wallet, and your consumer then gets the other promos and rewards that PayMaya usually gives out to our consumers. The next one, if we move on to the next slide, please, is a little bit more complex in a way that it enables your consumers to then pay outside of the PayMaya wallet using credit and debit cards of all types. And usually these are the Visa cards, the MasterCards, GCBs, right? So what happens here is during the conversational commerce section of your flow, you send out a link through Messenger, and when the consumer clicks that link, it takes them to this checkout page where he can then select what kind of payment option he would like to do to move that money to your account. So whether that be via QR, whether that be through credit card or a debit card, or through his PayMaya number. So to sum it up, these are the two solutions where we can help you out with in your step into going into conversational commerce. So if we move on to the last slide, um, that's a QR code, a sample of a very creative QR code. If you scan it now, and if you have questions, this will take you to a page where you can key in your information, and our partners at PLDT Enterprise will then be very glad to answer them and direct you to the right people within PayMaya. So going into PayMaya and becoming a merchant is easy. What we will provide you is a self onboarding platform, and all you have to do is upload the necessary documents, and these documents are really simplified right now during GCQ. So it's also a 1, 2, 3 quick step into becoming a PayMaya merchant. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Martin Mauhay of PayMaya. So again, if you have questions, you can ask the questions in the chat, in the Q&A box, and we can answer them later. So moving on, our next presenter is an essential product, no? LPG. No? So it's very essential, especially even during the ECQ times. No? So to present their concept, it's my pleasure to introduce to you their Business Development Officer of Brent Gas, Mr. Louis Bongkin. Mr. Louis?
Thank you, Sir Jake. I would like to thank PFA for this wonderful opportunity to present our brand. I would like to thank the participants for taking time to have this opportunity to go into franchising. So to know more about Brent Gas, next slide please. We have been here since 1991 under Brenton Engineering Group. Mainly, we're focusing on bulk wholesale distribution of LPG. Some of our notable customers are SM. We have the development like the Ashana development, and for the food sectors, we have the Jollibee Foods Corporation, KFC Group, and even Viking. So we started as a wholesale distributor of LPG. So moving forward, we expand our products into retail distribution. That's when Brent Gas get started as a franchising LPG. So we acquire PR Gas, and we also acquire Super Kalan Gas as another brand to expand our line of products. Next slide, please. So as of today, we partner with one of the biggest LPG distributor here in the country, Liquid Gas Philippines Corporation, to secure our supply. So during this ECQ, we're very glad that almost 98% of our stores are operating in a normal condition. So since we have been the business since 1991, lahat po ng stores natin ay accredited ng DOE and DTI. So nabigyan po tayo ng passes coming from the Interagency Task Force for COVID-19. Lahat po ng stores natin na kapag-deliver normally sa mga areas. So during this ECQ, napaka-essential po ng LPG since lahat po ng mga tao, karamihan nasa bahay. So, and also another advantage of LPG, hindi po siya perishable. So wala po siyang expiration, hindi siya nabubulok. Kahit po tumagal yung ating mga products sa mga stores ng ilang buwan, maulanan, maarawan, hindi po nagbabago yung quality ng ating product. As you can see, we have a complete line of LPG for the retail distribution. For the franchising, we have Brent Gas. For the dealership, we have Super Kalan Gas. And if you have customers who are looking for pipeline or bulk distribution, we have Brenton Tech Specialists. And as you can see, ang isa po sa mga pinakamahalaga na part ng pagbebenta ng LPG are the cylinders. So we want to make sure that our LPG cylinders are always in good condition to keep our customers safe. That's why we have the Asian Unicorn. So we fabricate our own cylinders. Hindi po kami nag-i-import, and we maintain our own cylinders. Next slide, please. So, Brent Gas, hindi po siya startup business. For those who are looking for a business na hindi masyadong startup, this is a right business for you because we have out of 188 stores, 78 of those stores are company operated. And these stores are ready to be franchised. So we build the store first, we build the market, we build the customers. Then if we feel that the sales is already good and ready to be franchised, then that's the time that we transfer these stores to franchising. So hindi po siya from scratch na maghahanap pa tayo ng customers. Ito po, bago namin i-transfer sa inyo itong store na to, we make sure that meron po siyang profit and loss documents or data na pwede nyo i-review, pwede nyo tignan. And we'll be honest with the data and profit na nag-gain itong stores na to. And for as low as 600,000, you can start your own LPG business for 5 years. So we have a franchise fee of 168,000 included in the 600,000. So sa mga nagbi-business po na nasa ibang bansa, pero may mga kamag-anak here in the Philippines, in this kind of business, in our package, we have the POS system. We have a dashboard called Irby na pwede nyo pong ma-monitor ang mga sales nyo per hour, every week, every month, every day, and sino po yung mga staff nyo na nag-gain ng mas maraming sales, nakakabenta, yung rate of delivery. Pwede nyo po makita through that dashboard na ginawa ng aming IT team. So, included in that package is that dashboard called Irby na pwede nyo ma-monitor yung sales nyo kahit nasa abroad kayo. And we have several locations all over Luzon right now. If you feel na ayaw nyo, kung gusto nyo naman po magtayo ng sarili nyong stores, it's also available. We have a business development team that could assist you in the site development process. Pwede po tayo maghanap ng space. If you have a own location na gusto nyo tayuan ng Brent Gas stores, pwede naman po yun. The site development study is for free. Wala po kayong dapat bayaran. And unless makapag-sign na po tayo ng contract. So, that's it. If you want a business na pandemic, during this pandemic time na hindi masyadong affected nitong COVID crisis, this is the right business for you, Brent Gas. It's a basic needs. Hindi po siya affected nitong crisis natin, not perishable. So if you want to know more about our products, please call the number on the screen, and you could also approach You Franchise. They're also our partner. So that's it. Thank you very much. So if you have other questions, you can also check our website, www.brentgas.com.ph. You could also check the available store locations that you could franchise. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Louis Bonkin. Now we proceed to our next presenter. Offers a one-stop shop for motorcycle and bicycle needs. So they are the first and only franchising company that offers motorcycle bicycle concept in the country. So now we are pleased to welcome this afternoon the president and the CEO of Cycle House himself, Mr. Jefferson Chua.
Hello, yes, good afternoon. Thank you again to PFA for organizing this event. And to all those who are listening, wow, 200 plus. So this is Jeff Chua. Mukha lang po akong Koreano ha. Pero Filipinong-Pilipino po ako at kaya kong i-dictate sa inyo ang panatang makabayan. Pero I won't do that this afternoon. Anyway, I just have 5 minutes to explain to you what Cycle House is. It's the first and only motorcycle and bike. And we're proud to be part of PFA, and we have been part of PFA since the beginning. Now, for my first slide, I will focus my 5 minutes on the reasons to believe in considering this franchise. Now, the other businesses are okay. You know what? As long as you jumpstart your own business, as long as it's an honest business, honest to goodness business, okay yan, pasok po kayo para naman ma-start nyo ng inyong entrepreneurial journey. No worries. If you go for the Brent Gas or Rice or whatever, as long as accredited by PFA, safe po kayo dyan. Now, for my end, we are in the motorcycle and bike. We're the first one to do that. We're now actually on our 10th year. And I want to start off, yun na, reasons to believe po ang focus ko kasi the information about the scope and how much yung lahat ng packages namin, my people can share to you the brochure. And you can actually look us up in Facebook, Cycle House Philippines, and in our website. So we would love to talk to you about it. Now, I want to start off with this slide all the time. No? Kasi tayo minsan, when we choose a business, sometimes we get too emotional. When we say emotional, sometimes we often choose a business what we like. When we say what we like kasi is being emotional. But if you try to really assess being scientific, choosing a business, di ba, na who has market growth, at ino-observe mo, lumalaki, maybe you are in a better chance to really make a good profit. Alright? So yun yung suggestion ko sa inyo. And then, look for differentiation doon sa business na yun. Meron bang ino-offer something new? And then, of course, what's the financial model and the support of the franchise business? Now, before I proceed with my two more slides, I want to direct you to the right side of my slide. So, first, there's really a good benefit of being your own boss, diba? I don't know your situation right now, if you still have a job or you're just exploring for a business. But you know what? It's a matter of being decisive. Maganda yung sinabi ni Sir Chris. Kasi when I started Cycle House 10 years ago, I told my mother, ay, ma'am, hindi pa kompleto yung ganito. Ay, may hinintay pa akong ganito. Ay, hindi pa perfect yung ganito. Sabi ng mother ko, buti nakinig po ako sa nanay ko. Kaya sa mga nanay dyan, regards po. Sabi ng nanay ko, alam mo, hindi ka makakapagsimula ng business kung hinihintay mo maging perfect yung condition. Sometimes, kailangan mo na lang i-start, tapos i-solve mo dun. Malalaman mo yan. Alam mo, nakinig po ako right now. On our 10th year, we have now grown to more than 100 branches nationwide. And I thank God for that. And of course, for PFA for being part of us since the beginning. And now, focus on the right side. When you start your business, you have two choices. Do you think of failures, struggles, or losses? Or will you just focus on hope and faith? Kasi that's very important in life. If you don't focus on the right things, you won't get the life that you really want. So in business, kung ano man business mapili mo this afternoon, choose hope and faith. Because sa hope and faith, you get a better output, a better result of your life. Diba? No regrets, at least you tried. And this franchise business, as Miss Dana has presented a while ago, is lower risk. And we will tell you why in a little later. Next slide po. This is very napakaraming content. Please forgive me, but I only have kasi just this moment with you. And after this, you'll be thinking about it. So ang ginawa ko na lang, ibigay sa inyo lahat ng information, reasons to believe, para somehow you get something to think about this afternoon. Number one reason, it's a huge and growing motorcycle market. You know what? Even before the COVID-19, thank God we have been growing our sales 40% every year. So nag-grow po. Why? Kasi naturally, malaki na yung market. More than 60% of registered vehicles are motorcycle. Again, this may not be a business that you like. But if you will be scientific, look at the market figures, this can be really enticing. For the bike market, lumalaki rin yan. You know what? Thousands and thousands of bikes we have sold already. Kilalang-kilala po ang cycle sa bike. But ngayong COVID-19, mas lalo po pang nakilala. Actually, nag-aagawan po yung customer. Now, sinasabi ko sa mga nag-i-inquire ngayon ng franchise, kasi dahil ano kayo ngayon kayo yung in ngayon Ako sinasabi ko dyan, you know what? This upsurge is just temporary. But yung fundamentals ng cycle house, when we say fundamentals, yung magandang pagpapatakbo ng tindahan, our marketing, yung mga store promotions namin, branding, that's what you can rely on in the long run. Meaning, even after the COVID-19, we have designed Cycle House to really be successful because of the fundamentals of the business. Yung masa market, number 3, yan yung mga fundamentals. We have focused on this target segment. We all know almost 98% of the Philippine population, masa market yan. Kaya tayo nag-focus. We have decided long ago, sabi natin, ayaw natin ng high-end. It's just a choice. It's a strategy. Sabi ko, low to mid-end tayo. Dito tayo mag-focus. Pagsisilbihan natin yung masa market. And we all know if the mass market becomes loyal to you, something really exciting can become of the company, di ba? Think of the big companies na yung masa ang tinarget. Number 4, it's the strong differentiation of Cycle House. You know what? There are a lot of motorcycle and bike shop, yung mom and pop shop. But what we did in the market 10 years ago was we presented something different. Ginawa namin, ayaw namin na madilim na tindahan, madumi yung tindahan. Ayaw namin yung mga staff hindi well-trained. Yun ang differentiation. Professionalized repair, customer-friendly store look, superior customer service. Tapos number 5, low risk din yun siya. Kasi talagang pinapalitan ang gulong kung nabutas yan, napudpud. Yung kadena, naputol. So low risk, no spoilage. And then, number 6 reason is the essential spending. Meaning, ito yung hindi dinedelay ng tao dahil kailangan niya ma-repair yung kanyang motorcycle and bike unit. Alright, next slide. This is my last slide. Again, it's a very daming content, no? Pero kasi para lang alam nyo na. Then, if you want to check us out, get more information, webinar, ang dami po namin webinar coming from OFWs, yung mga testimonials, para you get a feel kung ano yung business. Another reason is the multiple ways of making money. We make money by selling parts, accessories, services. So there's a lot of ways. Yan po yung business model namin. Hindi ka lang ikita sa motor, pati sa bike at power tools pinasok rin namin. Why? They are in a similar customer segment. Meaning, ibig sabihin, pare-pareho itong mga customer. Yung mga nagbabike, may motor. Yung mga nagmamotor, bumibili rin ng power tools. Yun po yung hilig nila. That's the reason why our customer foot count, yung pagpunta sa retail namin, mas mataas compared sa iba because we're coming in very scientific in managing the business. Another reason is the best-in-class management. I'm a professional trainer myself, so I'm very particular about making sure the staffs are well-trained. May tinatawag pa kaming certification process. So nag-OJT yan. Then we have online trainings, tuloy-tuloy yan. For the business owners, I have just come up with a leadership course. Online po yan. Why? Leadership matters. If the leaders fail, the business will fail. Another thing, best-in-class marketing. Nag-come up kami ng mga video tutorial. We're very much active in social media. Tinuturuan din namin ng mga franchises on how to do that. Now, ang maganda sa Cycle House, I've given a leeway sa mga owners who wants to be creative. Kaya gumawa kami ng area na where they can be creative. Ito yung local store marketing. Ibig sabihin, kung may mga discartes sila, they will just submit to the head office like us, will guide them, then they can run their own program para naman na-exercise sila yung creativity. And then ito yung pinakamaganda, yung training natin sa mga mekaniko. We are recognized by TESDA and we have a curriculum talaga for motorcycle and bike. Tayo po nauna, lalo na sa bike training curriculum. So formalized training, you won't have any more problems because we are there to support you. May mga challenges, but there are solutions in place on how to deal with them. Now, another reason is we have produced successful franchisees. With the hard work of the franchise owners, with my team and their employees, we have able to really build the brand and the store, diba? Yung business ng store. So again, faster ROI, why? Low capital investment. Mga kaibigan, it's just 298,000. Why is that? Is it because we're cheap? No. It's because of our mission. Our mission is to provide stable and affordable business opportunities and unlimited job opportunities for all. That's the reason why we were trying to maintain a lower franchise package. But if you want to grow big, we have other franchise packages pa. Low capital siya, tapos ang kasama doon ay all-in. You have 150 worth of stocks, signages, POS, all-in. You can check us out at Cycle House Philippines. Please email us or get to yung contact number namin nandyan. We can send you the brochure. High profit margin, ang ganda ng kita sa isang bike kasi pwede ka, ang binibenta niya 5,000, 7,000, 8,000. Thousands po ang profit margin yan. Pati sa mga gulong, worth 700, you get good profit margin. At maganda, meron kaming terms na pinaprovide. Then lower overhead costs, you don't need an air condition. You just need a 15 square meters, 15 to 20 square meters, and that will be okay. Faster ROI. And then, yun lang po. Again, sabi nga ni Sir Chris, maganda sinabi, be decisive. When you are being decisive, there will be challenges. Always focus on one thing, hope and faith, rather than on the possible losses or risks. Or else, you won't be able to start your own business. All right? So thank you again to PFA and for having me. Please text us if you're interested to partner with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jefferson. Before we proceed to our last speaker, just a reminder to our presenters, you may notice that there are questions for you now. So you may type in your answers in the questions in the Q&A box. No? But of course, others we get in the Q&A portion. So again, as we move to our last, but definitely not the least speaker, he's behind the first microfinance franchise in the Philippines, maybe even in the world. No, so it's my pleasure to introduce to you the CEO of LT&G, Mr. Marco Soliman. Sir Mark.
Of LT&G. We are, sorry. So yes, I'm the president of LT&G, and we are the first micro-lending franchise in the Philippines. Okay, so next slide, please. So there, we started micro-lending 7 to 8 years ago here in the Bicol region. So we went into this business because we realized that 99% of for micro, small, and medium businesses in the Philippines are are being serviced by informal lenders. Okay, so we realized that we have a very huge market that we can tap into. The problem with MSEs is that most of them are still unbanked today. So madami sa kanila ay walang access sa mga bangko. So if they want to expand their businesses or if they need additional funding, wala silang choice but to resort to informal lenders. The problem is, yung mga informal lenders charge very high interest rates. So hindi lang nila na mamalayan, pero halos wala naman silang kinikita na. Yung kinikita nila, binabayad na lang nila as interest sa mga pinagkakautangan nila. Okay, so this is a huge market that we saw is a very large potential. So dito kami pumasok. So nung nag-umpisa kami dito sa Bicol, we had 7 company-owned branches. Now, when we went into franchising 2 years ago, we started March of 2018. We have expanded to a total of around 73 branches nationwide. So may branches na kami now sa as far as Davao, Cebu, Tacloban, here in Bicol of course, sa Quezon. In Metro Manila, we have around 20 branches, and we have branches to as far as Santiago and Kawayan in Isabela. Okay, so we are one of the fastest franchising brand in the Philippines right now. Maybe because people realize that our business being servicing of the basic needs of clients, of micro entrepreneurs, nakita siguro nila yung vast potential ng market na to. Okay, so next slide, please. Okay, so our total investment package is only around 3 million to 3.5. So kasama na dito yung pag-set up ng opisina, yung training ng mga staff, hiring and training ng mga staff, signages, computers, and everything. So this is a turnkey package wherein pag turnover namin nung negosyo sa mga franchisee, bubuksan na lang nila yung opisina nila and operational na to. Kasama na din yung mga staff na well-trained na sa mga branches namin. Next slide, please. Yes. So our first franchisee reported ROI only on its 18th month of operation. The good thing with our business is that even during this pandemic, yung lockdown na nangyari, as being servicing of the essential businesses, almost all of our stores were still operational. So yung mga client namin, yung mga karinderya, mga sari-sari stores, meat shop, meat vendors, allowed pa rin sila magpatakbo ng mga negosyo nila because of, ito na nga, dahil mga basic needs yung mga paninda nila. So kami naman, na kami yung mga nagsiservice sa needs ng mga tindahan na to, we were also one of the very few businesses that were allowed to operate during the pandemic, during the lockdown na nangyari. So may mga problema din kaming hinarap during the lockdown, like yung mga sarado pang lugar nung nag-operate kami. However, we still find ourselves very lucky that compared to other businesses, kami kahit paano nakapag-operate pa rin. Now, why should you franchise us? Sa akin lang is that if you're looking for a business, siguro you should look for a business that will still be relevant many years from now, 10, 20 years from now. Kasi alam naman natin that itong mga sineserve namin na clients are really the basics na nakikita natin kahit saan na community tayo pumunta. Kami din sa ngayon, actually last year, our company, our brand, lent to us just up to 400 million na pautang sa mga tindahan all over the Philippines. So right now sana, we were targeting to lend up to 1 billion ngayong year. However, because nga itong nangyaring pandemic, medyo we nag-slow down in a bit. But we're very confident that next year we'll still ramp up to going back to the usual level na mga tina-target namin. So sa amin, marketing and sales is not that of a problem. Ang nagiging sa dami ng gustong umutang sa amin, so ang challenge na lang is how to screen and pick kung sino lang sa madaming umuutang ang pwede naming pautangin. Okay, so this is a challenge which is a lot different from other businesses. So a lot of yung mga ibang negosyo, kailangan mo pang mag-exert ng effort para sa marketing and sales. Kami naman, dahil sa needs ng mga kliyente namin, kami nag-i-screen kung sino sa kanila ang mga pwede naming maging kliyente. So you can see yung mga sa pictures namin, yung office namin are simple. At 25 to 30 square meters lang ang kailangan namin. Hindi kailangan na nasa first floor, so kahit second floor siya, hindi din namin kailangan to be located sa mall. So usually yung mga office namin, the rentals is only around 15,000 yung average. Kailangan ng motor para sa mga collectors namin. And because of the nature of our business, hindi din namin kailangan ng commissary and wala din spoilage sa negosyo na to. So this is a very simple business. Ang kailangan lang is matutunan nyo yung sistema kung paano patakbuhin yung microlending. Which yun naman yung tinuturo namin sa aming mga franchisees. Most of our franchisees have several branches already. So I think 80% of our franchisees have multiple branches. Siguro dahil nakita nila na ito ay napakasimple, ay simple lamang at hindi very technical na patakbuhin. So siguro, that's why they decided to put up additional branches after their second or third month of operation. Okay, so franchise us, call us or call you Fran, and we will be very willing to explain in more details the more details of our business. So we are LT&G, and we'll be expanding to many more branches nationwide. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Marco, for that presentation. Now, of course, I'd like to thank all our members, our franchise presenters, for sharing their opportunity to all our participants. So currently, we have more than 200 participants. We hope that we were able to encourage you and then learn more about franchising. So maybe we can proceed now to the question and answer portion. We'll be raising the questions. We'll be addressing the questions raised by our participants. So Jake, maybe
Yes.
I think we have a question for Mr. Chris Lim.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Joanne. So for Mr. Chris Lim, there's a question here. No, it's about a franchising law. No? It goes like this: do you think it's about time to have franchise law to protect franchisees? Because at least those who are not members of PFA. So is it now time to have a franchise law to protect franchisees from franchisors who are not members of PFA? And there's another question here.
Yeah,
Sure.
I
Okay, go ahead.
think thanks for that question. It's very on franchise law, you know, the Philippines was able to grow from nothing 20 years ago to now the 8th largest franchise market in the world. A big reason of that is because of the self-regulation that we've done. The PFA has been at the forefront of making sure everyone follows the fair franchising standards and has been regulating the industry. Regulation is a double-edged sword. If you look at the US, for example, may regulations nga sila together with Australia. At the start, it helped protect, but as it evolved, it became really just an extra layer, and it actually stifled the growth of the industry. That's why we have to be very careful. Right now, naman we're all protected through, of course, through the DTI rules, through all the existing regulations that actually protect the industry as a whole, whether franchise ka o hindi. So there are these laws that already protect you. And so far is that I think those are the laws that should protect us. The same laws that protect other industries should be protecting the franchise industry. But one of our biggest advice is if you are getting a franchise, do talk to the PFA. Whether it's a PFA member or not, we're very happy to share what we know about the brands that you're about to franchise. You can ask the PFA, you can ask FranCorp, you can ask you franchise. We're here to help. And I think the self-regulation has actually helped grow the industry here.
Thank you, Sir Chris. Actually, there's a certain person who sent this question, Mr. Wilfredo Villaflor, no? He's asking how can he become a franchisor? I think it's a business. So I think maybe you can send your details, Sir Chris, about FranCorp.
Yeah, sure. I think to whoever asks a question, do go to francorp.com.ph. We do help brands become franchises. So para yan yung mga business owners who want to franchise out their brand. So do go to francorp.com.ph.
Thank you, Sir Chris. For the last question, I think everyone can answer this, but we'll start with Sir Chris because in his presentation, he said that during bad times, franchising goes even better, no? But there was a question that a participant who asked this, no? COVID-19 has been unprecedented, so many franchisees might just there might be a danger if there will be too many investors who will go into franchising and will saturate the market. So is there a danger for that of saturating the market?
Yeah. Well, I think first of all, it's also a matter of choosing what industry you're in. So don't act when we do these talks, 80-90% of people want to get a food franchise. And of course, food will still remain food. I mean, it'll still be a profitable business, but it'll be a bit different. I think important is you have to look, the brand names that were very strong 3-4 months ago, you have to see how they adjusted to the new normal. Are they still relevant to what's happening now? And a lot of the brands here you saw today have adjusted. And that's why yan yung pinili ni PFA to present to you. Yan yung mga nag-adjust to the new normal. And we see them working very well. But pag-isipan nyo, don't just get a brand because you love that brand 6 months ago. 6 months ago and now are different. But in terms of franchising, in terms of consumer confidence, it is going to come back. Maybe it won't come back next month or 2 months back. The good thing is for you to already invest the time preparing right now, training your people, getting the right locations, para when that V-shaped recovery comes, positioned na kayo to grow from it.
Thank you, Sir Chris. Thank you. So, that's why, as Sir Chris said, we have a mix of brands here, no? And they have said naman in the presentation why they should work, no? Even these COVID times, no? So, I think, John, if you have questions, pa? I think it's a question for
Ms.
Dan.
Dana Cuneta. Yes. So the question is from franchising. Are we allowed to sell products other than of the franchisor?
In most cases, you may not. You cannot. Okay? Because you are bound by the franchise agreement. And one of the most salient is you should not sell products other than those allowed by the franchisor. But what we're saying, that's not to say you cannot suggest. I even mentioned in my presentation earlier that McDonald's, for example, your Egg McMuffin and Filet-O-Fish are products suggested by the franchisees to the franchisor. So pwede mag-suggest. Hindi lang pwede gawin without permission.
All right. Thank you so much. There's another question for you. What if the franchisor did not comply with what is indicated in the franchise agreement? The question is from Mr. Wilfredo Villaflor.
In the franchise agreement that FranCorp prepares, there are ways that can be addressed. Some violations allow the franchisee to cure it. So if cure to remedy it to to cure, that's the term in the franchise agreement, or the franchisee is given a certain period to remedy, to cure the misdeed. Pero there are also some violations that might result to termination. So there's a notice of termination, diretso na sa termination. So it depends on the gravity of the offense, of the violation. But what we're saying, if I may just add, yung operations manual, you have to comply with that because that is an attachment to the franchise agreement. Thank you.
All right. Okay. And then maybe this is the third question from Clarice Lacanlale. What advice can you give newbies who want to start a franchise for kiosk or cart?
Newbies who want to start a franchise, so they will buy a franchise, you first, I think the advice is, make sure that it is aligned to assess muna. I mentioned in the presentation, investment. Number 2, is it aligned with your skills, with your goal, with your passion? Number 3, when you start talking to the franchise, you understand everything that is being explained to you. Come up with your feasibility plan, do a research. All my advice is, even before you go into the relationship, prepare yourself, do diligence, study franchise agreement, because when you find your right partner, franchising is like a marriage. Even if you're just a kiosk or cart, that's minimum maybe 5-10 year relationship. So make sure you are in it with the right partner.
Oh, thank you so much, Miss Dana, for that tips and advices for our prospective franchisees. Maybe, Jake, we have a question for Miss Malto.
Yes, for you franchise. I think they just wanna get a parang differentiation between FranCorp and you Fran. There's a question
Ah,
here, and there's another one. How much is the franchise fee for Shawarma Shack? Are you carrying that brand, Shawarma Shack?
yes, sir. We also handle that brand. For the first question po, FranCorp is more on the franchise development po. So if, for example, you're a business owner and you wanted your business to be franchise po, of course, hindi ka naman pwedeng mag-offer ng business mo na agad for franchise. It needs to have a operations manual, the system. So FranCorp is the one who will develop those system po. And then for you franchise naman is we are a franchise matching platform. So basically, ang market po namin or ang kinikater po namin is yung mga interested po na bumili or kumuha ng franchise. So we give them a free franchise consultation.
So free, no free.
Yes, sir. Opo.
Free consultation. So if you wanna know more about the other brands, because I think you franchise has many brands, no, that
We
you
are
carry.
actually
So,
handling over 200 brands po from different concepts.
so for listeners who are tuning in, just put your name in the chat box so that Camille later can take a look at those names if if you're interested in getting to know about the brands that they carry.
Yes. Sir, sorry. I forgot. Yung sa Shawarma Shack.
Shawarma Shack, yes, yeah.
Yeah. Yung total investment po nila starts at 850,000 po. So they can also drop their details po sa chat box para we can send them yung franchise presentation.
Thank you, Camille. John, I think we can ask this question to all of them. What makes them relevant during these COVID times? So I think we can ask all our presenters, from Arise Spa, Brent Gas, Cycle House, LT&G, although they said it earlier, but maybe they can just say, in a few minutes, what makes them relevant during these times, Also to allay the fears of yung question kanina na baka masaturate yung market or baka sobra pang maraming problema during COVID. So maybe they can answer that question also. We can start with sir yung last natin kasi sinuli si Mr. Marco Soliman.
Thank you, Sir Jake. Well, as I've said kanina, yung karamihan sa mga na-allow pa rin, of course, na mag-operate during the lockdown were the essential businesses. These are the sari-sari stores, mga nagtitinda sa market, mga meat vendors, vegetable vendors, etc. Sila yung mga especially yung mga nagtitinda ng mga pagkain. So, ito naman yung mga kliyente namin as a microlending company. Sila naman yung kinikater namin ng mga kliyente. So, when they were allowed to operate, ganun din. So, inallow din ng government na mag-operate yung company namin. So, in a way, that was very huge for us. So, at least even during the lockdown, talagang nakapag-continue pa rin kami ng operation namin.
Thank you, Sir Marco. And even now, right now, because the government is really urging people to open business, to become entrepreneurs, so you help them.
Yeah, so it's been a very challenging times for many, of course. So yun nga, fortunately, na nandun kami sa nature ng business na kailangan talaga sa panahon ngayon. So in fact, nag-open pa lang kami ng branch last Monday. So we opened a new branch last Monday. So we're very, very positive and optimistic this coming months and years.
One last thing, sir, quickly. Anong difference yung sa DTI na P3 or yung sa atin lang to yung sa 5.6? Anong difference?
Ito na nga, marami sa mga kliyente namin are unbanked. So wala silang access sa mga bangko. So without us, dati, they resort to informal lenders. Unfortunately, madami sa kanila, 5-6 yung tinatawag natin na 5-6. However, these are 20% of interest per month. So marami sa kanila, hindi lang nila kinukompute, pero halos wala na silang kinikita actually. So yung kinikita nila, napupunta na lang sa pagbayad ng interest. Kung makikita mo, ilang taon na sila nag-ooperate, halos di naman lumalago yung negosyo nila kasi yung kinikita nila, kung meron naman, maraming part dito, binabayad lang nila sa interest. So, we were able to find a way to offer a much lower interest rate. Nakikita pa rin kami, pero more importantly, kumikita pa rin yung mga kliyente namin. So, we're very happy na ang mga kliyente namin, ilang taon na kliyente namin. So, nakita namin sila nung they started with us, maliit pa lang na sari-sari store yung negosyo nila. And sa ngayon, halos mini grocery na. So this is the kind of partnership that we're looking at, a long-term partnership with our clients.
Thank you, Sir Marco. Kay ka naman, kay Mr. Jefferson Chua. Why do you think your business is good?
Yeah,
During these times.
Yeah, you know what, sir? Etong panahon COVID, naging so much essential po yung motorcycle and bike. We all know that, di ba? Lalo na po yung bike. Alam nyo po ba, sir, grabe po, nag-aaway ang customer. Kakalapag pa lang ng bike sa shelves namin, nag-aaway. Kaya we have to pacify them. We have to tell them na social distance. To tell you frankly, we are selling bikes, our motorcycle parts like hot pancakes. But you know what? Ako kasi sa akin, sir, very important yung sustainability ng business. Dapat hindi lang dahil may crisis, but dahil yung disenyo ng business, may ina-address na need. Kaya ang maganda sa Cycle House, sa awa ng Diyos, at dahil nga rin sa pagtutulungan natin with PFA and my team and my franchise owner, inayos talaga natin yung business to address the needs of the motorcycle and bike. Kaya ngayon, mas higher need po. Sa totoo lang po, ang dami po namin messages, hindi na ho namin we're trying to address them dahil naghahanap sila, may branch na pa dito, may branch na ba dyan. So we are needing more general managers, we are needing more business owners to help us distribute our products, to help us deliver yung value ng brand, which is yung professionalized repair. Maganda po yung kita sa repair, sir, ha? Overhaul ng motor, 1.5. Tune up, 150. Bike, may services din yan. Maganda yung kitaan. Kaya it's something that they may want to explore on further.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So yung mga questions na, you have heard details naman. So for those listeners, no? Now we go next to Brent Gas. Actually, my question for Brent Gas kung ano how much yung ROI, how long is the ROI? So you answer those questions. Why is it relevant? Tapos how long is the ROI? Thank you.
Okay, in terms of relevance, this crisis made us separate from the generic brands or the generic resellers of LPG. Marami tayo nakikita nagbebenta ng LPG. But gaya nga na sinabi ni Sir Chris kanina is to go with the brands na may recognition, may proper permits, may proper documents. So what separates us from other brands and other generic LPG is nakapagbukas tayo. Alam natin ang LPG matagal ng essential. So dahil may delivery service tayo, since ang mga tao nasa lockdown, napakinabangan yung ating free delivery service. So and hindi lang yan, hindi lang tayo essential sa mga households, but essential din tayo sa community because nakapag-secure tayo ng mga jobs sa mga tao. Since hindi tayo nagsara, yung mga tao natin sa tindahan, na-secure natin yung kanilang trabaho, kanilang kabuhayan. And masasabi natin na in terms of the other brands, yung mga generic, hindi sila nakapagbukas since wala silang proper permits from the DOE. Tayo, tuloy-tuloy tayo, mas lumaki pa yung benta natin. Yung dating mga customers natin, nadagdagan pa dahil yung mga bumibili sa mga generic resellers ay lumipat dito sa Brent Gas. Since kami po ay safe, quality, we have complete DOE permits, business permits, kaya tuloy-tuloy po yung ating negosyo. So kung in terms of business po na hindi siya fad, hindi siya seasonal, I think ito po yung pinaka most relevant business for you sa mga nag-iisip ng negosyo na pangmatagalan. Sabi nga ni Sir Jake, gaano ba katagal yung ROI? Ang ROI po namin is 2 years to 2 years and 6 months. Depende po kung gaano ka-aggressive. Gaya nga na sinabi ni Miss Dana, kailangan maging hands-on tayo. The more na mas hands-on tayo, the more na mas malapit tayo sa mga customers natin, especially mga nanay or yung mga tao sa bahay, the more na mas mabilis yung ROI natin dito sa Brent Gas. And masabi namin na sa tulong ng mga webinars na to, patuloy na dumadami nag-i-inquire sa amin dahil nakita nila yung relevance ng business sa panahon na to na unang-una, we're not hindi kami umaahas sa mga malls. Almost all of our stores are not situated sa malls. So hindi po kami affected ng any protocols or standards ng malls ngayong crisis na to. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Louis Bongquin of Brent Gas. Now we go to Oraispa. Oraispa?
Yes, sir. So we are relevant nowadays because of this pandemic we are experiencing. Matatawa na lang po kami, or we feel complimented when our customers send us a message via our Facebook page or website na, ano ba yan? Saan ba makakabili ng Oraispa? Kasi na-stress kami, masakit yung ulo namin. So kami po as a manufacturer, na-overwhelm po kami kasi hinahanap-hanap talaga nila kami. So, it is relevant today kasi we all need to feel pampered. Na-miss natin yung salon, spa, especially sa aming mga girls na wala kaming yung sa rituals for the skin, di ba? So, ganun din naman sa boys. So, this time, take advantage to the health and wellness booming industry. Now is the perfect time for you to invest. Supporting local brands is worthy today because people are all the more embrace local products. So we are local products. Or ISPA, we source our ingredients locally. And also know why we are the only Philippine brand who won the ASEAN Business Awards for healthcare for the Philippines among the Asian countries. So we are happy to partner with you. With or without pandemic, health is wealth. Oraispa is your best choice. Yun po. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Pat. We go to PayMaya. I think for PayMaya, the question is, can micro businesses avail of PayMaya? I mean, the small ones, can they do that?
Because certainly. So a lot of the programs we did during GCQ really is designed for SMEs and micro small medium enterprises. So yung mga documentations required to really sign up with us has been reduced past couple of months. So it's easy to sign up. In fact, there was a question on how much are the fees, but there's really no setup fees to be a PayMaya merchant for its payment solutions, providing you with that payment solution. There are fees though on of course on the transactional side of things. That of course is to keep the business going and to protect the business of course from other activities that are out there in terms of fraud, fraud, scams, etc. Because we need to keep that system in place. That's why there's really those transactional fees. Now, on a question on how timely it is, in terms of GCQ, ECQ, I mean, for PayMaya, we have been really instrumental in providing a contactless and cashless or really safe solution for a lot of the merchants out there now. So do hop on, get in touch with the PLDT representatives or get in touch with us. Our partners are answering some of the few questions on Q&A. Just get started. We'll make it really easy for you to get started with this online journey.
Thank you, Mr. Martin Mauhay of PayMaya. No? So even yung nagkuhan ngayon, may nga nasa online business, no? Get PayMaya, you can para mas madali na sa inyo mag-transact. Thank you. So we go now to you, Fran. Well, you friends carry a lot of brands, no? But I think our question for them is Kwan. Maybe they can just say a few brands that they think will work, no, during this COVID times. You franchise, Camille.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Mhm.
So yun, sir, even
Yeah.
before the ECQ naman po, we have been very helpful to aspiring franchisees, right? Kasi there are, yun nga po, as mentioned earlier, marami pong brands na nag-offer dito sa Philippines. So they are a bit confused. So parang tinutulungan po namin sila para malimit yung options nila. So right now, the brands po that I can recommend is yung mga essential brands. Those are the brands na continue to operate po even before the ECQ. So we have the brands that I presented earlier. We have Citrozone. A water refilling station is also good. We have Crystal Clear and H2O Mineral Plus. It's an um, alkaline water. So it's a good concept din po since right now yung mga tao is very um, parang conscious sa health nila. And of course, Brent Gas din po. It's also a good brand to consider. Yeah.
Thank you,
And
Camille.
for other
Ay,
brands naman
sige.
po, they can contact us naman po.
Yes, of course, no. So do contact a U franchise if you have questions. So we're now, it's almost 3:30. You know, it's the end of our seminar, but I'm sure that our listeners have learned a lot, and I'm sure that they have they're going to ask questions, no, to our presenters. So I think now we move to some parting words, no, a few parting words lang from our speakers, no. Uh, so we start with Mr. Chris Lim, then Miss Dana, then so on and so forth. So Sir Chris, are you still there? Sir Chris, parting words.
Yeah, I'm here. Well, I think I'll end with what I said a while ago. You just in the past hour and a half, you were exposed to maybe 5 to 8 really good brands. My suggestion: don't try to analyze each and every brand. If you do that, there's 1,800 brands in the market. Pumili kayo ng mga 3 to 5 that's very interesting. Hopefully, narrow it down to 2 or 3, and then that's the one that you do a lot of due diligence on. And don't take too long. A lot of the opportunities, even the promotions of the franchisors, won't really last that long. Of course, some of them are offering short-term promotions right now, but do know that there will be locations coming out, prime locations. Do be decisive. I think if there's one thing you can get from this webinar, it's really after you do your due diligence, be decisive.
Thank you, Sir Chris. So thank you, Sir Chris. No? So be decisive. Now we go to Miss Dana Cuneta of our speaker, Miss Dana.
Hi. Okay, so it's the same, no? If you see an opportunity, don't sit on it. So even during these times, you start inquiring, start knowing about it, and start acting on it. So, when the economy starts to open again, at least one foot is already inside the door and you're ahead of the rest. And also, I would just like to mention that FranCorp will hold a Franchise Your Business seminar on June 24, 2 p.m. webinar also through Zoom. So just go to our FranCorp PH Facebook page, and then there you will be led to a link to register. Thank you.
So, June 24. This is for entrepreneurs who want to franchise their business.
Yes, entrepreneurs
Okay.
who want to franchise their business.
Okay, got it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Dana. Now we go to Miss Camille of UFran. Parting words.
Yeah, siguro I would like to say congratulations both to all our participants who have taken the first step in their franchise journey, which is yung attending ng ganitong very informative webinar. So as shared by Ms. Dana earlier, franchising is a 90% success. You just really have to talk or deal with the right person. So to further help you po, you franchise is conducting a franchise webinar. So we have on June 16, 23, and 30. That's every Tuesday. So they can check our Facebook page. It's You Franchise Sales and Management. So for the schedule. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you. So June 16 and June 23.
Yes,
Thank you,
and
thank
30.
you. Okay. Now we go to Miss Pat Ramos of Orispa.
Yes, hello. Hi, thank you, PFA, and to all our viewers. If you're interested to franchise Orispa, just message us and email us at orispafranchise@gmail.com. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you. Now we go to Mr. Martin Mauhay of PayMaya.
Yeah, so if you want to get started with your conversational commerce journey, I provided the link earlier, a QR code. Otherwise, email us at inquiry at paymaya.com and would be glad to help you out. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, PayMaya. Now we go to Mr. Louis Bonquin of Brent Gas.
Again, I would like to thank PFA and all of the participants for this webinar. Okay, ulitin ko po, lahat po ng gustong mag-start ng business at mag-serve ng ligtas na LPG para sa community nila, you could message our Brent Gas Facebook page or check our website www.brentgas.com.ph to check our application process. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Louis Bonquin of Brent Gas. Now we go to Mr. Jefferson Chua of Cycle House.
Yeah, thank you again, PFA, for inviting us, and thank you for organizing this. And I'm quite sure 200 plus people are now have this full of hope, di ba? So sabi nga ni Miss
Yes.
Rian, nakuha niya na yung quote ko na hope and faith. For all those of you who wants to be in business, it's really a matter of trying and stepping out of your comfort zone. May mga kalaban po tayong negosyante, but kung tulong-tulong po tayo with the franchisor, you have a better chance to really compete. And motorcycle and bike, Cycle House is so in nowadays. It's a huge market. We have been in the market for 10 years. If you're interested, let's work together in order for us to have another branch in your area and probably get the best of the business, di ba? So Godspeed sa lahat ng mga plano ninyo. Thank you again, PFA.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Jefferson Chua of Cycle House. Now we go to Mr. Mark Soliman of LT&G.
So thank you, Sir Jake. Thank you, FranCorp, PFA, and you, Fran. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to present our brand. Well, again, for those who participated, again, we are in the business of helping people, and we are a business that will be relevant for many, many years to come. So if you want to invest in a business, call us. You can call us through UFRAN or through our website. We'll be very glad to assist you and to answer your inquiries. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Marco Soliman. Now I turn you over to my colleague, Ms. John Tumagan, to thank our sponsors. Hanap buhay namin.
Thank you very much, of course, to our speakers, to all our presenters, and to all our partners. So we'd like to, in closing, I would like to acknowledge the support of our valued partners. This webinar is co-presented by GPI and PLDT Enterprise in partnership with Phoenix Petroleum, Sea Oil Philippines, QualiPlus International, Frankfurt Philippines, Potato Corner, KFC, Maxis Group, Goldilocks, Mary Mart, and Arispa. Once again, thank you very much to all our partners. And then, of course, Brother Jake, magpa-plug din ako.
Sure.
I'm going to promote our event for tomorrow. So we'd like to invite all of you to our PFA eCapian. It is an e-learning session sharing of best practices and practical insights by our business leaders and CEOs. So for tomorrow, our topic is pivoting towards recovery. So we have our resource speaker from PwC, Attorney Alex Cabrera. And then we're also going to feature three panelists, Mr. Toby Claudio, President of Toby Sports, Mr. John Patrick Kua, Managing Director of Nielsen Philippines, and of course, Mr. Chaya Patra, known as Mr. Pong, is the CEO of Rock's Food Company Limited. He is a potato corner master franchisee from Thailand. So, and then we'll be featuring our presenter from PLDT Enterprise. So see you tomorrow. We will be sending you the registration link after this activity. So there you have it. This is Joanna Tumagan from the Philippine
By
Franchise
the way, Joanne,
Association. Yes.
Group photo ulit.
A group photo pa. Oh, sige.
Yes.
May I request everyone again for a group photo.
Vibe?
Ready, sir?
IB.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, smile. All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. So again, this is Joanna Tomagan from the Philippine Franchise Association. I hope that we were able to inspire everyone with this webinar. So every month we were gonna conduct this every first Friday of each month. Thank you so much. So now I turn over you to Jake.
Thank you, Joanna.
Thank you to everyone. Thank you. So
you.
sa ulitin. Thank you to our presenters.
Thank you so much, everyone, to all participants.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Keep safe. God bless everyone.
God bless everyone.
Safe.